Um, so hello everyone. I will talk a bit about the logistics of postgraduate and beyond opportunities at IIT Gandhinagar. So if you have questions, um, feel free to interrupt or post on chat, and yeah, any of us could answer your questions. Okay, so in these slides, I will mention briefly about what are the typical goals of higher education and how at IIT Gandhinagar we will help you achieve those. I will also talk about some what can you do to prepare for a test or an interview that helps you get into IIT Gandhinagar. Then I will also talk a bit about life at IIT Gandhinagar. So these slides have been made more as a reference. So yeah, after the talk, we can make it available publicly, and so these slides have links throughout it, which points you to the actual information. Okay, so yeah, every good presentation should have pictures. So this is the first one, a view of the campus on the bank of Sabarmati. Okay, so first let me talk a bit about let me hypothesize about the goals that a student may have. A potential candidate may be joining a postgraduate program because they want to go to a teaching career, and people say that okay, a master's or a PhD is a must if you want to go into a teaching career. Some people may just want to say that okay, I have studied at an IIT, or you may be just waiting for a good job market. Maybe the job market is bad and you want to improve your knowledge and skills and hopefully enter into a better job market once you have got your advanced degree. Or you may still be confused whether to go into industry or academia and just want to sample. Or you may have passion for learning and want to continue learning. So all of these are valid states of mind before entering a postgraduate program. And at IIT Gandhinagar, we are heavily focused on interdisciplinary research. So we provide or we do not put up barriers if you want to explore various stuff. So there's no concept of a department. So you are free to explore whatever areas with very minimal restrictions. And so if you are someone who want to, let's say, start a startup, then there's an incubation center that helps you achieve this. We also provide through CDS, which is Career Development Services, various soft skills workshops, and help you develop your leadership skills, which will be useful no matter what you decide to do in the future. And also, we about 40% of our students have overseas exposure, so we are a globally connected university. By the way, all these links on these slides point to more information about these centers. Okay, so I will talk a bit about the preparation. So the admission process typically involves a gate syllabus like test and an interview. So in your application, there will be many essays that you have to write. So we encourage you to showcase your projects or tell us about your favorite topics and why you like them. And most importantly, you have to get it right. So one common mistake that we see during applications is it does not. So these essays do not give us any information about you, right? So use these essays uh, to showcase, well, why you should be given a position to study at IIT Gandhinagar. So the entrance test typically follows the kind of syllabus. Uh, so you will be mainly tested on your fundamentals, or in other words, the depth of the knowledge in fundamentals and not the breadth. And the interview procedure is such that it's mostly a discussion. So you are always encouraged to think out loud. So you should not think of the interview process as something where we ask questions and you are supposed to come up with solutions. Right. So the goal of interviews is to understand how you approach problems. So it is essential that you think out loud so that we can see or we can understand what you're thinking or how you are trying to come up with solutions. Right. So and even though we are the interviewers, you are encouraged to guide the discussion. So you can maybe try and simplify problems and discuss various aspects of the problem, right, before coming up with the solution. So I have also put a couple of links that point to additional tips for preparation. Okay, so now coming to life at IIT Gandhinagar. So this is a typical academic year at IIT Gandhinagar. So there are 2 semesters. One which begins typically at beginning of August and ends at beginning of December. Then there is a winter break. So January is the start of the event semester, which goes up until the end of April, and then there is a summer break. And in each semester, you get a 1 week midsummer break. So just to give you an idea about how a typical academic year looks like. So I have also put up a timeline of a typical PhD. So this is not very precise, but so this may change depending on the progress you make during your research. But once you join for a PhD, typically in the first year you have to do the bulk of your coursework, and before 1.5 years or 3 semesters, you are supposed to be done with your qualification qualifier exams, and around at the end of the 2 years after joining, you are supposed to come up with a thesis proposal. And after this, of course, you are expected to be engaged in research, visiting conferences, giving presentations, taking up other research internships. So at 3.5 years, you typically give a thesis seminar, and about 1 year later, you have to defend your thesis, after which PhD is awarded. So I have also put up a timeline of a typical MTech. So the first year is mainly coursework, and at the end of 6 months, you are matched to an advisor depending on your interests and the available projects. And at the end of 1 year, you typically complete the bulk of your coursework or almost all of your coursework. Then the summer break can be used for internship or reading up on your project work. So at the end of 2 years, you are supposed to submit the thesis and get your MTech degree. This is a picture of the academic blocks. Right. So a bit about academics at IIT Gandhinagar. So there is a heavy focus on learning by doing. So approximately 50% of credits for an MTech is for a project or thesis. The percentage is even higher for PhD, of course. So we follow a continuous evaluation mode for all courses. So there will be tests, assignments throughout the semester. And you are also encouraged to do project-based independent courses. So what I mean by this is that if you're doing a PhD, you are also encouraged to do courses that are independent of your actual thesis work with other faculty. And as I mentioned earlier, we are heavily interdisciplinary, so there is no concept of departments. In fact, at least 8 credits for the discipline of MTech should be from outside the discipline, and PhD students also regularly do independent projects from other disciplines. We also believe in let's say holistic education. So MTech students have to take up a writing course and at least one other humanities course. PhD students get proficiency credits for guiding BTech students or participation in writing course proposals or grant proposals. And we also have compulsory physical education for our degrees. Here is a picture of the hostel area. So regarding the culture and values at IIT Gandhinagar, we are a students' first institute. So students are given freedom. They have to assume accountability for their actions. We are a secular, progressive, and diverse campus, and each student has a social and moral responsibility to keep it so. And honesty is, of course, very highly valued. We are located at Gandhinagar after all. So regarding non-academic activities, we have a large number of clubs that are engaged in various things like photography, filmmaking, various kinds of arts, and gender and sexuality discussions. So we also have various technical clubs, like club for robotics, a coding club, an astronomy club, where we watch stars and the moon. And we also have a digital sports club. Of course, if none of the clubs fit your taste, and you have a sufficiently large number of people that share that interest, then you can always start your own club. So here I have also provided the links to various clubs that exist in the institute. Okay, so I have kept this slide for the end, perhaps the most important one. So if you do a PhD, the stipend, so the typical stipend is 31,000 per month. This may increase depending on various fellowships. So it rises to 35,000 when you become a SRF, which is typically at the end of 2 years. And from my discussion with the students, the spending per year comes to about 1,50,000, which includes tuition, accommodation, food, and health insurance. So for an MTech, the stipend is 12,400 per month, and the spending is about 1,20,000 per year. So in addition to the salary, you can also avail various facilities. Like there are gyms, there are various sports facilities. There's a football ground, a cricket ground, and so we have air-conditioned workspaces. So the summer at Gandhinagar is very hot. And hostels are also air-conditioned from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. Of course, during the daytime, you will be at your workspaces. And there are various eateries that are open during the night. Very importantly, we are also a 5-star Eat Right campus as certified by FSSAI. So you get good food. I have also linked to various other facilities, so you can check this link to read about more facilities available in the institute. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask or post on the chat.